Hillary Clinton was asked about accepting money from Goldman Sachs for speaking gigs, and she gave a horrendous answer.
One of the things that Senator Sanders points to and a lot of your critics point to is you made 3 speeches for Goldman Sachs. You were paid $675,000 for 3 speeches. Was that a mistake? I mean, was that a bad error in judgment?
Look, I made speeches to lots of groups. I told them what I thought. I answered questions.
But did you have to be paid $675,000?
Well, I don't know. That's what they offered. So, every Secretary of State that I know has done that.
But that's usually once they're office and not running for an office again.
Well, I didn't
must
know.
Have known.
To be honest, I wasn't committed to running. I didn't know whether I would.
You didn't
or not.
think you were going to run for president again?
I didn't. When I was Secretary of State, several times I said, I think I'm done. And, so many people came to me, started talking to me. The circumstances, the concerns I had about the Republicans taking back the White House, because I think they wrecked what we achieved in the 90s with 23 million new jobs and incomes going up for everybody. I did not want to see that happen again. I want to defend President Obama's accomplishments and the progress we've made. I want to go further. So, yeah, I was convinced. But, anybody who knows me, who thinks that they can influence me, name anything they've influenced me on. Just name one thing. I'm out here every day saying I'm going to shut them down. I'm going after them. I'm going to jail them if they should be jailed. I'm going to break them up. I mean, they're not giving me very much money now. I can tell you that much.
Okay, that's not true, and I'm going to prove it to you guys in a second and tell you exactly who's contributing to her campaign, her super PAC, and all that stuff. But first of all, let me answer the other question, which is, well, name one thing they've affected us on. Name one thing. No, name one thing. The list is endless, but how about Glass-Steagall and breaking up the big banks? You claim, hey, my plan is tougher on Wall Street. Huh? Well, no, you're against bringing back Glass-Steagall, which led to decades of a stable financial sector. But then when your husband signed the repeal of it, we had the crash soon thereafter. Now, for those of you who don't know, Glass-Steagall basically makes it so that there's a firewall between commercial banking and investment banking. Commercial banking is what happens when, you just go down to your local bank and put your money in there. You put it in there expecting that they're not going to do crazy casino capitalist gambling with it and lose your money. You put it in there because you think it's secure. It used to be the case that it was secure. They didn't allow the big banks to take that money and do derivatives bettings with it and all types of crazy stuff where eventually they're going to lose it. But when they got rid of Glass-Steagall, they got rid of that firewall, and now you put your money in your bank, and they could take that money and gamble on whatever the fuck they want to gamble on. And then what's going to happen is eventually, as any gambler knows, poof, it goes bye-bye. So this idea of, hey, they haven't affected me, okay, then come out tomorrow and say I'm in favor of Glass-Steagall. She won't do it. Why? Because that cuts into the short-term profits of the people who are giving her campaign contributions, and it cuts into their bonuses and all that stuff, and they don't want it. So they'd rather tank the economy in the long run and look the other way. There's just one example, but the list goes on and on, breaking up the big banks. As of right now, they have too much power. It is too big to fail. They were quite literally bailed out, and they went right back to doing what they were doing beforehand, which led to them going bankrupt and then needing to be bailed out. And Bernie Sanders says, okay, that's nice. I'm going to break it up. And it's so funny when people call him anti-capitalist for taking that position, because breaking them up means what? You're actually going to make them compete against each other for the business of the people, which is capitalism. But what we have right now is corporatism. It's socialism for the rich. And that's what Hillary's in favor of. Why? Because those corporations are paying her. The Wall Street firms are paying her. So this idea of, well, it's not affecting me at all. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. But see, guys, this is exactly why Hillary Clinton says to every single truly liberal program that Bernie Sanders wants, no, that goes a little too far. Why? Because all the half measures that Obama's in favor of, her husband's in favor of, and she's in favor of, the corporations love it. You think the health insurance industry, for example, doesn't love Obamacare? They get business guaranteed. People are mandated by law to go buy from private insurance companies, and then they price gouge the fuck out of them, and they get rich. That's why they're like, yeah, we covered more people, but okay, we're price gouging you, and you still have private insurance companies in control. But hey, it's good, right? Isn't it great? No, it's not. This is why Hillary Clinton praises Dodd-Frank. Dodd-Frank was already super watered down, and it had tremendous loopholes when it was implemented. And then since it was implemented, in like agriculture bills, the Republicans have been slipping in repeals of different aspects and provisions in the bill, which makes it so that we're right back to square one, where Wall Street is doing whatever they want, and it's eventually going to tank the economy. And Hillary Clinton is not arguing for, hey, let's do what we know works. Break up the big banks, bring back Glass-Steagall. She doesn't want to do it. Who does want to do it? Bernie Sanders wants to do it. But now to her other claim. They're not giving me a lot of money now. I don't know what you're talking about. Big money interest donating to me? No. Well, let's look at her opensecrets.org file here. This includes donations to her campaign, her super PAC, and all that stuff. For everybody listening on the live show and you can't see it, Soros Fund Management, I believe this was to her super PAC. They gave over $7 million. Walt Disney over $3 million. Paloma Partners $2.5 million. We have Herb and Marion Sandler, the Sandler Foundation. I don't even know a lot of these. $2.5 million. Sabin Capital over $2 million. Pritzker Group $1.8 million. And the list goes on, as you guys can see here. And then also, so this is donations to her campaign and to her super PAC and all that stuff. This does not include what Anderson Cooper was bringing up, which is personal speaking fees, where she goes to Goldman Sachs and she gives a speech. They pay her $675,000. She gives a few speeches. And what do you think's going on there, guys? Seriously, you're not that naive to think that they're giving her all that money because they're super interested in her position on abortion, are you? That's why they're giving her the money? Hey, tell us what you think about, these various social issues. No, they're doing it because it's a bribe. If/when she runs for office and becomes president, hey, remember that time we gave you $675,000? Well, I mean, hey, you're going to help us out, right? You're going to do this corporate welfare bill for us, right? You're going to give us this special tax exemption, right? And remember, Goldman Sachs, guys, it's a criminal organization. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. So what they did during the Great Recession, or leading up to the Great Recession, is they would try to sell toxic assets, toxic packages to their clients. And it was specifically the subprime mortgage packages. And they would say to their clients, oh, this is awesome. You guys are going to make so much money. Buy these packages. It's great. They're rated AAA. Remember that ruse? They were basically bribed to rate them AAA. So they'd sell the packages. These unsuspecting people who don't have a degree in finance thought they're making a good move because the guys in the suits and ties at Goldman are telling them to buy it. And then these assholes turn around and bet against the package that they just sold as good. So they sell it to you like it's good, and then they turn around and say, I am now betting for this thing to fail because I know it's going to fail because it's a bullshit product. I know I sold it. That's like somebody selling you a car, telling you it's going to be awesome, and then, the car doesn't have fucking wheels. You're like, oh, wait, I thought the thing had wheels. And they're like, well, you already bought it. Sorry. And then you bet on the car to not work or something like that. Or you bet on it to not be able to leave the fucking parking space. And you make money two ways. We have a term for that. It's called fraud. 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 It's a criminal organization. This is why Bernie says fraud was a business model on Wall Street. And Hillary Clinton's taken money from all these different financial firms. And then finally, I got to throw this out there too. So she takes money for... her and her family take it for the Clinton Foundation, for her campaign, separate thing, for their super PAC, and then also for personal speaking fees. This is like 4 layers deep of corruption, guys. Did you know between her and Bill, they made over $100 million in speaking fees? Over $100 million. If you don't think that has an effect on the type of policy she's going to push for, you're an idiot. It's that simple. I'm not entertaining that thought. I don't know about you guys, but if people give me and my family over $100 million for speaking, I'm going to like them. I'm probably going to answer that phone call. You're probably going to have a seat at the table when I'm making big decisions that affect the American people. And that's the problem. This is favoritism. This is legalized bribery. This is corruption. This is the problem in American politics. And if you think you're a liberal, you think you're a progressive, and you're even considering voting for Hillary Clinton, for whatever reason you could come up with or you pull out of your ass. Oh, she has a vagina. Feminism. I'm going to vote for her. That ain't feminism. That's McFeminism. That's about as real as the meat and the chicken nuggets. Let me tell you right now. So that's simply not progressive. And this is just all of her, this is just the corruption angle, haven't even brought up everything else. A vote in favor of the Patriot Act, which rips up the Constitution. Forget the Fourth Amendment, forget due process, forget habeas corpus. It's an anti-American piece of legislation that she voted for. The illegal war in Iraq, which she voted for. Now, so, oops, my bad. Did I vote for a $7 trillion war where over 200,000 civilians died? Ooh, I would never make that mistake again. Then why are you also arguing for intervening in Syria today? You want to make the same mistake. No, I'm not having this discussion. This is not a liberal. This is not a progressive. This is not somebody who's principled. This is somebody who's deeply narcissistic and deeply corrupt, and the facts prove it.